Hey everyone, welcome once again to the Middle School Youth Gathering for the Northwestern Minnesota Synod in 2020. A strange and troubling year for sure. You know, the world seems pretty messed up these days, doesn't it? What I'd like to submit to you for your consideration is that the world has really always been pretty messed up. It's just maybe more obvious these days than it has been to us in the past. Back in Jesus' day, if there was a virus that went around, people just died because there was no medical treatments. There was no way that we could help people when they suffered from viruses way back in 2,000 years ago in Jesus' day. In Jesus' day, political, civic unrest was the rule, not the exception. And it was in those times, those very troubling times, that Jesus said things like this to his disciples. In the world you will have trouble, but be of good cheer, for I have overcome the world. And he also said to his disciples, come to me, all of you who are troubled and carrying heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. In his last words to the disciples, just before he ascended into heaven, he said to them, remember, I'm with you always until the end of time. What I'd invite you to do with me right now is just take a deep breath. And another one. And another. And then just notice. Notice what's here. Notice what you can smell, what you can see, what's around you. Notice your breath. And recognize that in this moment, nothing is lacking. You are held and loved. And Jesus, just as he promised, is with you. And just as he promised, he will be with you now and until the end of time. God's peace.
There's a passage from the book of Jeremiah that I'd like to share with you today. The passage says, the Lord says, I know the plans I have for you, plans for your welfare and not for harm, to give you a future with hope. That is my prayer and my hope for you this day. For God is always with you, and God has great and wonderful plans for you and your life. So open your heart and broaden the horizons, this day and always. Amen.
God has your picture in his wallet, and every time he has the opportunity, he pulls that picture out of you and shows others, this is my beloved, whom with I'm well pleased and love so dearly.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to our first episode of Easy to Bake Treats for the LYO board. And I'm Jay, and I'm from Roseland, Minnesota, and I'm joined by...
I am Cam Nibby, and I am from Barnesville, Minnesota.
And I am going to show Cam how to make one of the best treats that we have at an LYO board or a LYO youth gathering, because...
Cheesecake.
Why is it important to do this one snack, Cam? What does Chris always say? She's trying to find a snack.
No, I can't remember.
Hello, or not allergic, right? She doesn't want people to get allergic, so she says Rice Krispie bars make the best snack because most people can handle all the ingredients in a Rice Krispie bar. Correct?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so Cam, here's the basics. Have you ever baked before?
No.
All right, well, I'm going to make this really easy. Are you ready?
Probably.
All right, well, look at your hair. You and I both have COVID hair right now, right? Look at this beautiful hair. So I didn't bring my chef hat. I know I'm not a professional, but you gotta have a chef hat so hair doesn't get in your food. So my mom taught me this at a young age. She had the best hair. And when she went to bed, she always wrapped it up in this material. So we're gonna use toilet paper, and this is gonna be my chef's hat. So you're gonna take this, Cam, and you're just gonna wrap it around just like this. And you just keep wrapping it around. So if you never think that you can cook, if you don't have a hat, just use toilet paper. And I don't know if you have any handy, Cam, but it's getting a little messy here. I should have tucked this in earlier. It helps too if you wrap the right way. So, whoa. So I'm gonna quick do this. Who thought that this would be a struggle, huh? It's a good thing I'm not in a MASH unit for the military. The people would be in trouble, huh, Cam?
Probably.
Remember, everybody, do not try this at home. All right, I'm going to tuck this in, and we're going to begin. So good enough. This at least gets my hair off. How's that look, Cam?
You know, that looks great, but I think only you can rock that look.
All right,
So,
well, thanks, Cam. Well, we're going to continue
long and
on.
flowing.
I got toilet paper all over me. I think I made a tail, so I'm going to finish off this. I'm still hanging around here. I'm going to tuck this in so I can still see. All right, so here's our main ingredients, Cam. You ready? Here's what we need. Obviously, you need a box of Rice Krispies, right? You got to have the good Rice Krispies. Because did you know what's so unique about Rice Krispies, Cam?
They snap, crackle, and pop.
You got it, my friend. See? Yes. Snap, crackle, pop into your morning. All right. And then you need a bag and a half of marshmallows. So I've got a full bag here in this bowl, and then I got a half a bag. So we're going to need the marshmallows, and then we're going to need 1 stick of butter, which I cut it up ahead of time, because then when you turn the stove on, Cam, it'll melt a lot easier instead of just putting 1 big stick. And look at Cam, he can hold it all in his hand. And then the last simple ingredient is vanilla extract. This imitation flavor, and you only need a couple drops of that. And then you want like a 9x13 pan at the end. And then I got a little special tip for you. Are you ready to hear this, Cam?
Yes.
This is the biggest secret to making an excellent Rice Krispie bar. But guess what? Since it's a secret, I can't tell you right now. So enjoy it. So you got to stick around to the end of the show to hear this tip, because it'll be at the end. You think people stick around, Cam?
I really hope they do, because this sounds like a very important tip.
All right. So, Cam, have you ever been around a campfire?
I have been around a campfire before.
Have you ever roasted marshmallows?
Yes, I have.
All right. So tip number 1, do not get your marshmallows too hot or they'll start to turn color and they'll get burned. So the first thing is you want to melt your butter first. So you're going to take your stick of butter, or I've already cut mine ahead, and you're going to pour it in the pan like this. See, just put it in here. Make sure you get it all in. See, look at that, empty, voila. And then you're going to put it on the stove. And I've got about medium heat, about number 5. Because if you go too hot, it's going to really roast. And if you go only like 1-2 heat, then it's going to take forever. So far, are you following me, Cam? Are you there with me?
Yes, I am here. I'm following.
Cam wore the right shirt. He's got a lumberjack shirt on, so he's ready to cook. He's out in that cabin log fire. Because remember, we want to give you that friendly atmosphere. We want to give you that home feeling. Because, we're stuck here, COVID. We've been stuck in our houses a lot. And so we just want to give you that cozy feeling on this show of easy bake treats. Hey, Cam, do you ever remember the easy bake oven when you were a kid?
I never got to use an easy bake oven as a kid.
That just shows you how old I am. I might act like 25, but believe me, people, I'm a lot older. So make sure you stir the butter. As you can see, it's starting to melt here. Can you see that, Cam?
I do see that.
See that? Look at that close. That, you can't get a camera view like that, ladies and gentlemen, at a regular show. Because they got all those cameras. We got one camera. We're recording from the Zoom, guys. And we just got one camera on Cam, one camera on me. And, oh, man, look at this. Can you smell that butter, Cam? Can you smell it?
No.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We're not in the same room, are we?
No, we are not.
So don't you think, Cam, someone should invent that you can smell from another camera on the computer? Wouldn't that be a cool effect?
I'm not really sure how I feel about that because, you know, sometimes you would get a very weird smell.
That's true. That's true. Well, here's the deal, Cam. I didn't do the best job of wrapping my head, so hopefully you can still see me, but it's almost melted, but it's really important. No clumps, okay? You got to get rid of the clumps in the butter. It's got to be a liquidy on the bottom of the pan. Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
See, people don't want to take time to smell the aroma anymore. They just want to quick get in, get out. But we're here to teach. Enjoy the presence of the room. Let's do this. Let's breathe in and out one more time, Cam. Ready? Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. I promise you, if you do that 2-3 times, the butter will melt. Okay, Cam? Key tip. So you don't get bored and you lose your patience, say breathe in, breathe out. Just like, have you seen the movie Karate Kid? Wax on, wax off. All right. So, Cam, as you can see, my butter is pretty much melted. So are you ready for the next step?
I am ready for this next step.
By the way, I just want to say that this show is sponsored by the Lutheran Youth Organization of the Northwestern Minnesota Synod. That's that 5-second plug. We just want to make sure that if it wasn't for the Northwestern Minnesota Synod, we would not be able to afford to do this show tonight. Right, Cam?
That is correct.
Because Cam and I, we cost a lot of money, don't we, Cam?
Oh, yeah. You don't even want to know how much they're paying me to be here.
All right. So, Cam, is your butter melted pretty good?
You know, I was so distracted by your beautiful butter melting that I completely forgot to start mine.
All right, well,
you
start melting, and I'm going to go on to the next step. You just follow along, because remember, we have people tuning in. They'll be tuning in through this whole month of November. So I want to just make sure that we teach patience, but we also continue to flow with the flow, okay?
Okay.
Speaking of flow, you got a good flow going, so do I with our hair, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and that was another plug for the Cam J hair products. Please contact Cam or Jay if you'd like to know how to grow a good flow. All right, so back to the action. Here we are. This is the marshmallows, and you just want to pour a little in at a time, and then make sure that the marshmallows get that awesome butter flavor over it, because if we don't get that into the fluid texture, then it's going to burn. So make sure you stir it around before you dump the whole thing in. Does that sound good, Cam?
That does.
And then Cam, every oven's different. So make sure
flash cook my butter into melting.
If your butter's not melting very fast, maybe turn your heat up a little, but just you got to really watch your heat, because every oven's different. And for mine here at the church, I have to really watch carefully, because if I get it too hot, it's going to burn. If I get it too low, it's going to take forever. All right, so I'm really stirring this around. So Cam, as I'm slowly pouring in these marshmallows, I got a question for you. What's your favorite baking treat of all time? Like, what's the one treat that you just loved if your mom or your grandma or someone made for you? What's your favorite baking product to eat?
Apple crisp.
Apple crisp. Well, I'm glad that
Apple crisp is very good, especially.
That wasn't our product, because that would have took forever, and I have no clue. Because people, you'd be laughing really right now if you knew me, because I'm more of a grill person, Cam. I don't bake a lot, but I'm really confident in my abilities to really make a really good Rice Krispie bars for you guys. Does that sound good? So Cam, you see this? See how it's getting kind of gooey?
Yeah.
See that?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay, that's not good. Time out, everybody. Are we still there, everybody? Okay. I got a little butter on my computer.
Oh, no.
Ladies and gentlemen, do not try that at home. All right. So, Cam, make sure you got good heat, and you really want to get all the clumps out, okay? So if you guys are watching me on Zoom here on our cooking show on Easy to Bake, this is a workout, Cam. I'm like, you really want to get gooey. And my heat is not where I want it right now. So make sure you get a good enough high heat, Cam, or it's going to take forever. Okay, my friend?
Yes.
So what's the most embarrassing moment that you can share live of a cooking experience? You have one?
Oh, boy. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I don't cook that often, so I don't have many really bad ones. I mean,
Okay. Oh, I forgot to tell you,
okay,
Cam.
this one.
You should always try the food. So see this marshmallow? I should throw it up. Yeah, and catch it like that. Let's try it one more time. Catch it up. Oh, let's try it again. One more time. Ready? Here we go. Oh, yeah. Third time's a charm. Can you try that? Let's see if you can beat 3. Can you beat 3? Oh, you beat me.
One try, Jay.
All right, Cam. You won that battle. But can you make an awesome Rice Krispie? All right. So how's yours coming along, Cam?
I am now getting started on the marshmallows.
You gotta really make sure you get all your marshmallows in because it's really important because if you don't, when you add the Rice Krispies, it's not gonna be a good texture. It's gonna be too, you know the point. It's just not gonna work. How's that for cooking tips? Now, I'm starting to get a foam here. Can you see this at all? See that? That white foam? See it? Here, I'll show you.
Oh,
See that? Looks like,
that looks good.
looks like oatmeal, right? That's what you want. You want to get it so it gets nice and foamy. Like, have you ever made pancakes before, Cam?
I have made pancakes before.
You have?
I have.
Okay, so, I mean, it's obviously not going to be like that because you don't have flour and all that, but you just want to get where it's just got good texture and then it's all sticking together because when you add the Rice Krispies, if you don't get it to that nice level, that nice soft level, like just nice and smooth and cream, smooth like a person on the ice rink that's just smooth with their skating. Okay, now my heat's getting a little hot. So I'm noticing just a little brown, just a little. We don't want that. Keep it white, all right?
All right.
That nice white marshmallowy texture because what's the color of a regular marshmallow, Cam?
White.
Yes, correct, sir. Oh, this is looking so good. Hey, Cam, one back at you. Ready? Yeah! I got it. Second time.
All right. Let's see if I can get one after another.
All right. How's it coming, Cam?
Nope.
Have you added all your marshmallows?
I am adding all my marshmallows as we speak.
So I had it just perfect, but I forgot. Never forget in the kitchen, people, because you might not like what you taste later, but I forgot to add the other half a bag of marshmallows. So I got clumps again. But again, clumps isn't the bad thing, but it's not the thing you want to end with. You want sticky and gooey and no clumpy, okay?
No clumping. You got it.
So how am I doing, Cam? Have you learned one thing yet tonight?
No clumping.
No clumping. There we go. So remember, people. Well, I could have gone political because there's something that rhymes with clump, but I won't go there because we are a free country and this is all about doing God's work in the kitchen, right, Cam? Oh, Cam, you ready for this? Oh my gosh.
I'm ready. Show it to me.
Oh my gosh, look at this. Is that a work of art? Is that beautiful? It's ready for the Rice Krispies. Are you ready?
That is beautiful, yes.
Thank you. So here's what you do. So now you take your Rice Krispies, and you can do this over the oven or because it's so hot. Whoa! Woo! Okay, do not try that at home, ladies and gentlemen. You like my sound effects, Cam?
I do. I feel like I'm watching a Star Wars movies. A Star Wars movie.
So Cam, this is, oh man. Make sure you put your vanilla extract in too, okay, Cam? What I do, Cam, is I take,
okay.
Cam, put your vanilla in before the Rice Krispies. I messed up, but it's still gonna be okay. You take 2, I just put in the cover, and that's all. You just want just a touch of vanilla, because you know that all these extracts, it doesn't take much for good flavor, right?
But yeah.
So, again, if you feel like it's getting too sticky or too hot, take it off the stove and just start making it all come together, okay? See,
Okay.
Cam, look at this. Look at that, huh?
Ooh.
Woohoo! And like I said, anybody can do this at home. That's the great thing about this show. You don't have to go to culinary school. You just have to get in the kitchen and you gotta get at it, right? Because we don't clump, do we?
No clumping here.
No clumping. No clumping. This is all about the right. So look at this, Cam. How's that? Look at that. But guess what?
Oh, that looks good.
We're trying to do a 9x13 pan, so I still got to add the rest of the Rice Krispies. And I pretty much put in the whole box, because the whole box ends up being about, over 8 cups. But again, it's kind of what's your threshold as far as, do you want it really thick, or do you want thin? If you want it really thick, then you want to add in the whole box. And what I like to do too is put it back over the heat, because if you take it off the heat too long, then it will all harden up, and then you won't be able to get the rest of the Rice Krispies in. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
All right, so finish up the rest of your Rice Krispies. I'm trying to really crank it up here. And remember I said, what did I promise you at the beginning, Cam, of the show?
A secret at the end.
A secret. So we're almost close to that secret, okay? So make sure you still have your Rice Krispies over the heat. And oh man, this is looking so good. So good. I tell you what, I surprise myself sometimes, you betcha. That's the thing, I'm a Scandinavian. I gotta talk like my roots. Like I'm Norwegian, Swedish, and sure, you betcha. So it always makes cooking fun when you can just talk in your homeland. People say, Cam, that I have my own J language, that I make up my own words. So I think I'm ready to add this to the pan. You ready for my secret?
Yes.
All right. So the last step, and this is so important, people, do not turn the channel right now. You got to know this. If you want to just perfect, see this pan? You got to spray it first. So you're going to take your little no-stick spray and just spray it in there so it doesn't stick at all. And then we're going to slowly, can you see this, Cam? Just slowly just put it in the pan. Oh, look at that. Can you see that, Cam?
I do.
Doesn't that look gorgeous?
Really.
This is a masterpiece of Rice Krispie Cooking 101 here on this Easy Bake show. I mean, it doesn't get much better than this, does it, Cam? And Cam, I know you're gonna have to finish up your food later off the air, but I just think you got something good. So, are you ready for this, Cam?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna make sure I get the rest of this off. And yeah. All right. So here's what people forget. If you don't want to get sticky hands, you have to push it down so it levels out in the pan. So the secret is a bowl of water. You take the bowl, stick your hands in, so you get them nice and just loose with water, and then you just do this. You just push the Rice Krispies down, and look at that, Cameron, it's not sticking. See my hands? Cam, see, look, you see any Rice Krispies on my hands? Isn't that incredible? That's the secret.
Amazing.
Nobody ever thought of that, did they? So what do you think, Cam? What do you think of my secret?
I think that's ingenious.
All right. So you ready to see this, what it looks like? Okay, again, just to show you, you see any stickiness on my hands?
There's no stick on your hands.
So remember, everyone, have a bowl of water. And, everything that we said, I bet, Cam, we shop for you, but how much do you think this costs altogether? How much do you think it costs?
At least $3.
Well, it's a little more. I was able to make this under $20. How's that for a treat? And look at the pan. You ready for this? Look at this pan. So what you're going to do now, if you're going to have a party later, you could serve this in about 15, 20 minutes. Just let it set out. If you're not going to eat it tonight, then put some tinfoil over the top, okay? And voila. But guess what, Cam? We have to tell people how it tastes, right? So look at this. I got a finished product right here in the oven. How's that for quickness, huh? And now I can take my toilet paper off, people, because I'm done. I'm done cooking. So here we go. You ready, Cam? Can you give me a drum roll?
I can try.
Or just make a sound. Let's make this big. Look at that, guys. Look at that texture. You see? Look at that.
That's really thick, too.
Look at that. It's nice and thick. But watch when I take a bite. Actually, I'm going to pull it apart. Watch this. Ready? Look at that. If you do it right, look at that. See the marshmallow? Pull apart just like that. I'm going to take a bite. Oh my goodness. Yup. You hear that, Cam?
I
I
do.
just heard it snap, crackle, pop in my mouth. That's how good this is. So here's the final. I can taste the crunchiness of the Rice Krispie. I can feel that gooiness of the marshmallow. I can taste just a little of that vanilla. Just a little, because you get two vanillas, and then you want to stop biting after one. But what I like about it, it's soft. It's pulled apart easy, no mess. And it's just nice and smooth. Want to hear that crunch one more time? Wow. Here, Cam, take a bite. Take a bite, bud.
I don't think that's how this can work.
All right. So, Cam, can you show me your finished product?
I'm not quite there yet. I have a problem.
Well, but Cam, so what'd you learn from the show?
I learned not to drop a metal spoon in really hot marshmallows or it burns your finger slightly.
So here's the deal. So I want to thank you, everyone, for tuning in to our first ever show. But, oh, man, it's still melting in my mouth. That is an excellent Rice Krispie bar. Remember, it's simple. It's cheap. It's home feeling, like you're around the campfire roasting the marshmallow. But you get that snap, crackle, pop of the Rice Krispies. You get that buttery taste of the butter. You get that chewiness and that gooiness of the marshmallow with just a little taste of vanilla. That, my friend, is our first ever easy baked snack, the Rice Krispie bar. And if you are like Cam, and you just don't have time, then you can go out and buy one in a package, like Cam. So if you just don't want to deal with this, but it took me like 20 minutes, people. You can do this. But I got a closer. You ready for the closer, Cam? When you're done, you got to wash it down with milk, right? But instead of just putting milk in your mouth, you can't make a Rice Krispie bar without a little snap, crackle, pop. Everybody listen, listen. It's just like being around the campfire, ladies and gentlemen. Snap, crackle, pop. I'm Jay, that's Cam. Until next time, join us for our second episode of Easy Bake Treats for the LYO Youth Gatherings. You never know what the treat will be next time. But until then, I'm Jay, Cam, and snap, crackle, pop to your week. God bless everybody.
This next song is called Love Round. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul and all your mind, and love all humankind as you would love yourself, and love the Lord your God with all your heart, tick, 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 boom, and all your soul and mind, and love all humankind. We've got Christian lives to live, we've got Jesus Christ to give, we've got nothing to hide, because in God we all find love. All right now, this song is called Love Round, so we're gonna go into a round. I'll go first, Lucas will go second, and Josh will go third. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, and all your soul and all your mind, and love all humankind as you would love yourselves, and love Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your heart. Tick, 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 boom, with all your soul and mind, and love all humankind. We've got Christian lives to live, we've got Jesus Christ to give, we've got nothing to hide, because in God we all find love. We've got Christian lives to live, we've got Jesus Christ to give, we've got nothing to hide, because in God we all find love. We've got Christian lives to live, we've got Jesus Christ to give, we've got nothing to hide, because in God we all find love.
My word of comfort and hope for you comes from Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers is quoted as saying, when you're in a tough time, look for the helpers. That always helps me to know that I'm not alone in a situation. There's people out there to help me and to help other people, whether it's first responders or pastors or youth directors or people who just care about you, your friends. You are not alone, even when it sometimes feels like you're alone. So look to the helpers, and if you have a chance, be a helper too.
I would like you to remember how much God loves you and will be with you always, no matter what. You have many gifts to share with the world, and you can be the hands and feet of Jesus. You can be a light in the darkness, and you can bring joy and hope to others.
All of you young people are living in a time that even we adults have never experienced. The world can be a very scary place, but when this is where I find myself, I like to repeat my favorite verse from Proverbs 3:5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not rely on your own insight. Please take your right hand and place it over your heart. Hold it there for about a minute. When you do this activity, you will feel your body start to relax. I invite you to find your favorite verse, place your hand over your heart as you repeat it. You will find that it calms your soul.
Hey everybody, my name is Sarah and I serve as the Director of Children, Youth, and Family Ministry at Our Savior's Lutheran in Barnesville, and I get to be one of the LYO adult advisors, and this is my friend Ashley.
Hi everybody, I'm Ashley and I work at Trinity Lutheran Church in Moorhead, Minnesota, and I'm the Director of Youth and Family Ministries.
And we are going to share some service project ideas with you today. So first we wanted to share our theme verse with you from Romans chapter 12, just as a reminder. So Romans chapter 12, verse 5 says, "So we who are many are one body in Christ, and individually we are members of one another." Just reminding us that we are connected to each other through the body of Christ. So we're connected to one another and we're connected to Jesus through that body. And part of that connection is caring for each other. And so we are going to share some service project ideas with you today of ways that you can care for other members of the body of Christ. So Ashley, you want to talk about the first one?
Yeah. Thinking about connecting with other people in our community. Right now, it could be really hard, just knowing that a lot of places are being shut down or closed a little bit more, and it's going to be a little hard to connect. And that means that it might mean we have to go out of our comfort zone even more than we would normally. And one thing that you could do is call different places in your community to see what they need. So you could call your local nursing homes and see if the people there need different cards or a way to just feel like people are caring about them and that they know that they're still there. So it might be a Christmas decoration, or it might be they could use some birthday cards for people or Christmas cards. You could call your local food pantry and see what donations they need this week or this month, because even though I would love to go out and buy a bunch of cans of soup or something, maybe they don't need soup. Maybe they need some pasta or something else for their families there. And there's probably a shelter of some sort in your area, or maybe in the towns around you, that could use some help too. So just being willing to go out of your own comfort level to call them and see what they need makes a huge impact. And for people who are a little bit more introverted, like I am at different times, a lot of these places have social media accounts as well. So one of them that's in our area is the Ronald McDonald House, and they put out a wish list every single Wednesday on their Instagram account, and you can see different things that they would like for their families.
Or here in Barnesville, our local food pantry does something very similar. They have a Facebook page and they share things that they are in need of. So like Ashley said, if you are not super comfortable getting on the phone and asking places what they need, search for them on social media and see if you can find them. You'll probably have more luck finding them on Facebook than you will on Twitter or TikTok. But you could find them probably on Facebook or maybe even Instagram and see what they need and reach out. Or if you are not having any luck finding them on social media and you're not comfortable calling, talk to your pastor or the youth person at your church. They probably know how to get in touch with those local organizations, or they might even know what some of those places need. Like I kind of have an idea of what our local food pantry needs, or some different ways you could connect in our community. And I'm sure Ashley does in her community if her church kids reached out to her. So reach out to your church if you're not comfortable calling the food pantry or the homeless shelter or nursing home or something like that. And then the other idea that we have for you is a little bit closer to each of your homes. And we want to challenge you to do some random acts of kindness in your neighborhood. So this might not feel like it makes as big of an impact, or you might not feel like your neighbors are in need of your service or your help, but we're all in need. We could all use some uplifting right now. We could all use some kindness and happiness in these crazy, uncertain times. So maybe like the example I used was that if Ashley and I were neighbors, Ashley knows that I like to drink a Diet Coke, eat pretty much every day. So maybe her random act of kindness to me would be that when she orders her groceries, she just orders a 6-pack of Diet Coke and leaves it on my front step. Or we talked about a commercial that we had seen on TV this week where neighbors are talking to each other through notes in their window. The one I saw is a sweet little girl and her elderly neighbor who have conversations, and they ask each other what their favorite color is and what their name is. And it's just really sweet and heartwarming. So maybe you make a card for your neighbor and you either tape it up on the inside of your window somewhere they could see it, or go tape it up on the outside of their window facing in, maybe in like a common space in their house, like the living room or the kitchen, just to brighten their day and say hi. So
there was also another commercial while watching some good old fashioned Hallmark Christmas movies that people made Christmas ornaments and stuck them in their neighbors' like mailboxes or by their doors. So that would be another fun thing to do, that you could use all of your artistic talents as well.
Yeah. When you just said that, Ashley, I was thinking like you could go decorate your neighbor's tree, like hang them in an outside tree for your neighbor and decorate their lawn. That would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, these are all ways that you can connect with other people in your community and show that you care for them and you care about them while still being safe and keeping everybody healthy. So yeah, we hope that you can use some of these ideas and that you can make a positive impact.
Oh, hi! I didn't see you there. I was too busy watching birds. Bird watching has become one of my favorite quarantine activities. Let me show you this bird feeder that I made. So here is this awesome bird feeder. Let's talk about how to make it. Hello! So, as you know, our theme is connected in Christ, and being connected during a global pandemic is kind of hard because you can't really go and visit people, especially like your grandparents or people you know who might be in nursing homes. So a great way that I found to connect with those who might be feeling a little lonely in this season is by making them bird feeders. So what you're going to need for this activity is some peanut butter, some bird seed of any variety, a bottle that has the seal taken off of it. If you don't have a bottle, you could also use like a toilet paper roll or paper towel roll, but this will be a little more like weather proof. Something to spread your peanut butter with, some string, a scissors, and a plate. So to start off with, I'm going to take my peanut butter and spread it onto my bottle like so. Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. I don't think the birds are really going to care that much. And make sure you leave a little bit of space for you to tie your string around. Yeah, so something like that. Doesn't have to be too perfect. And then we are going to take the bird seed and dump some on your plate and make sure it's like nice and spread out. And then we're going to take our bottle, and again, make sure you leave room so you can like hold it, and then just like roll the bird seed on there. And now we can stick to the peanut butter. You can use your hands too. Okay, now that we've made a little bit of a mess, it's okay. Take your string. You're going to want like that much, like one arm's length and some more. And then I'm just gonna tie it like just a normal knot, or you can do a fancy knot if you know how to. Knot it on one end, and then and then wrap it around like the main part of the bottle. And there you go. Now you got the super awesome bird feeder that you can give to your friends who might be in quarantine so they can watch birds too.
Hi everybody. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a card for someone who hasn't been able to get out much due to quarantine or just like COVID in general. So anyone in a nursing home or just people who are in quarantine. I had to quarantine actually last week. It wasn't very fun. So I understand it's not great. So we want to like tell those people that we still are here for them, supporting them, and that we love them. So Maddie just showed everyone how to make a bird feeder that you can give to someone, and I'm going to show you how to make the corresponding card to go with your bird feeder. Because you gotta have a card with the bird feeder, right? So, I'm gonna go over supplies quick, and then we'll start our drawing. Okay, so first you'll need some paper. I'm using this pastel paper because I like the color. Then you'll need a pen or pencil, and your choice of highlighters or markers or Sharpies, whatever you want. So I started by folding my paper so it looks like a card. I'm doing it the vertical way because I like it better like that. So yeah. Then crease your paper. To start drawing, I'm just gonna write "You Are Loved" on it. So I started with cursive, and we're gonna do a technique I learned at Bible camp actually called down shading. So what you do is you take your letters, and when you write in cursive where your pen strokes down, you fill it in a little bit, make it a little wider, and then color over it. So it kind of looks like calligraphy except without the work of calligraphy. For this next part, after I finished with my U, I wrote R in basically just capital letters, nothing fancy. Then I went over to the loved, so I started with highlighter, and then after I was done writing loved in highlighter, I went over it again with smaller cursive letters, and then I did the same down shading technique that I did on U with the loved part. So then after I was done with that, I thought it looked kind of boring still, so I decided to just kind of like art it up a little bit. I put banners in the corner, and then I also put a banner over the word R. After that, I pretty much just colored, and this part you can really do whatever you want. All of it, you can pretty much just do whatever makes you feel good, but I just kind of colored it until I thought it looked cute. So after that, I added some dots, and then I was pretty much done. So after you're done with your outside, you can write anything you want on the inside of your card, make it a nice letter, just let them know how you feel, and that's your finished product of your card. Thank you guys.
My word of encouragement for all of you today is don't worry. Don't worry about what you look like. Don't worry about how popular you are. Don't worry if you're not good at sports. Don't worry about wanting to be good at something that you're not good at. Instead, spend the time with the people that you love and people who love you. Spend your time trying to get better at the things you know you need to get better at. And spend your time with your faith. Jesus loves you. Jesus has got this, and you don't need to worry.
A word of hope in 2020 is a daily reminder to enjoy life. Each day, God gives us a new day to embrace and a new day to start over anew. And so each day that God gives us, may we enjoy it.
So what kind of word of hope or comfort or encouragement can I give you? Well, it's kind of related to a pet peeve I have. I oftentimes hear people say something along the lines of children or youth are the future of our church. And actually, I believe that you are the present of our church. You are loved right now. You have gifts to offer right now. You have ministry and joy to share right now. You are the church right now. You don't have to wait any longer to be the church. You're not the future. You are the here and now. And I give thanks to God for you, just as you are, loved and blessed, just as you are today. Thank you for the ways that you live out your faith and that you're learning to live out your faith, just as I continue to learn out my faith. And that you and I are partners and siblings in the gospel and in the body of Jesus Christ.
Hi everyone, Pastor John Olson. A word of comfort and joy and hope. I think of this. Somebody gave me this not so long ago as a gift. It says, Jesus knows me. This I love. A little play on words, but a reminder that Jesus knows us and loves us just the way we are. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Maddie, and I've been on the LYO board for 3 years. My favorite part of being on the board is seeing the way participants grow in their faith throughout our weekends spent together.
Hi, I'm Cam Nibby. I've been on the LYO board for about a year now, and I gotta say my favorite thing about it is being able to have a bigger part in the gatherings and being able to hang out with everyone who attends.
Hi, my name is Hope Grafstrom. This is my second year on the LYO board, and my favorite part about LYO is making new friends and making connections with people.
Thank you, Maddie, Cam, and Hope for sharing about being on the LYO board and their favorite parts. If you are in 8th through 11th grade and are interested in being part of the LYO board, you can find the application online, or you can ask your pastor or youth worker to help you find the application. Part of being on the LYO board is putting these gatherings together. Most of the time we meet in person, and you will learn more about the church and the ELCA and what it means to be a leader in our church. So if you're interested in that, you can, or have questions, your pastors and youth leaders know how to get a hold of me, and I'd be happy to talk to you about that. Before we end with prayer and a blessing, I'd like to say thank you to our camps, Pathways Bible Camps and Luther Crest Bible Camp, for sharing their music with us these past 3 videos. What a gift. I encourage you to go to camp. It's a great place. Both camps are so fantastic. So I encourage you to check out our camps. I'd like to say thank you to our Synod staff for sharing what they would go back and tell their 13-year-old self, and some words of comfort for us all. I like to thank the LYO board for the work they did to help make these possible. Our last song is We Are the Church from Luther Crest. And though most of us aren't able to worship together as a congregation, know that no matter where you worship, you are still part of the church. You are an important part of the church. You're not the church of tomorrow, you're the church of now. And thank you for sharing your gifts and talents with your congregation and the world in ways that you help others. We gave you some ideas in this video and the last video. So I encourage you to go out there and be God's hands and feet in the world in this time that we need it so badly. I like to end in prayer and a blessing. So please let us pray. Oh God, you have called your servant to ventures of which we cannot see the ending, by paths yet untrodden, through perils unknown. Give us courage not knowing where we go, but only that your hand is leading us. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. And may God bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May God give you grace to not sell yourself short. Grace to risk something big for something good. Grace to remember that the world is now too dangerous for anything but truth and too small for anything but love. May God take your mind and think through them. May God take your lips and speak through them. May God take your hands and work through them. And may God take your hearts and set them on fire. Amen.
This next song is called We Are the Church. We are the church, whoop, whoop, the body of our Lord. We are all God's children, and we have been restored. The church is not a building where people go to pray. It's not made out of sticks and stones, and it's not made out of clay. We are the church, whoop, whoop, the body of our Lord. We are all God's children, and we have been restored. Whoop, whoop. You can go to worship, but you cannot go to church. You can't find a building that's alive, no matter where you search. We are the church, whoop, whoop, the body of our Lord. We are all God's children, and we have been restored. The church is not a business, a committee, or a board. It's not a corporation for the business of our Lord. We are the church, whoop, whoop, the body of our Lord. We are all God's children, and we have been restored. The church is the people living out their lives, called, enlightened, sanctified for the work of Jesus Christ. We are the church, whoop, whoop, the body of our Lord. We are all God's children, and we have been restored. Who are we? We are the church, whoop, whoop, the body of our Lord. We are all God's children,